Hello and welcome back to N2 the Chatterverse, where two gents share their 2 cents on pop media. I am Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics.
And I'm Bill, and there's a good chance I'm going to cough through this whole thing.
There are worse things.
Yes.
If you guys are joining us for the first time, consider liking and subscribing because we have some good conversations out here. And if you are already a subscriber, thank you guys so very much for helping us build this community. This is what it's all about. We like to dig deep on some interesting things, talk about stuff that we care about, that we hope you care about, and we're going to jump into very speculative who would be in the upcoming Avengers lineup. Based on what the MCU currently looks like, what characters actually make sense for being considered an Avenger? And I think this is one of those, as Marvel Studios is trying to rebuild their reputation and the brand, this is kind of a key point that needs to be established, not now, but right now.
Yeah.
And definitely, I think we with the teaser for was it Captain America, Brave New World. Oh, I almost said New World Order because I know that's what it used to be.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be part of the context or the tone setting of this is what the Avengers are going to be. What are your thoughts on this?
That it's going to be like more military?
Yeah, I mean that's a starting point. I think it's a starting point.
I think what I'm hoping is going to happen is it's going to give Sam the idea to put the Avengers back together the way he wants it put back together.
Okay.
As opposed to, whatever Ross wants.
Right, because Lord knows you let Ross choose.
Yeah, right.
Wait, now that you say that like that, okay, so is that the break? Oh my God, that's okay. This is writing itself now. Is that the breakdown where after this movie there is still that separation of militaristic versus not, and the Thunderbolts are Ross's version of what he would want versus what we get as Sam's version of what he would want? Do you think that's the line that we're
because I kind of feel like Thunderbolts is Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad.
I can totally see that. I don't know that they were ever called that, but I think in the core foundation of what it is, that's exactly what that is, right?
Yeah, because Thunderbolts that started right after I stopped reading comics because, like right around the time I stopped, Ross was dead.
Got you. Yeah, and the connection to Thunderbolt Ross, I don't think was there initially. They were called the Thunderbolts, and it was more in the line of like the Avengers were gone, like that was Heroes Reborn hadn't happened yet, so like the Avengers are missing, and Zemo, spoilers, decides to grab up a bunch of different bad guys, and they present themselves as good guys, and that's how they kind of create the Thunderbolts. Why they chose to do that, it's hard to say. I don't know, because I wasn't reading that book either.
Yeah,
but yeah, I can see Thunderbolts. Now that we have, Ross as this linchpin, and it's, again, moving off kilter from the origins of the comic, but it's smart because you've already got this character. That's what you build off of.
So you know what that sets up in Thunderbolts, right? Something you said off camera.
Which part?
Post-credit scene.
Yeah, I think that's got to happen. That's got to happen.
Now, does he just ask Bucky?
I think he asked Bucky, and Bucky says no. I think Bucky says no so that he can watch what is happening on the Thunderbolts. I think that's the way that starts. Bucky says no so he can watch what Ross is doing.
Is it okay? So is it only Bucky that he asks?
No. Can't be just Bucky that he asks. And I'm trying to think of who all do we have on the Thunderbolts roster. We got Red Guardian. We've got Yelena.
That's pretty much where it stops for me as well. I'm like, I can see the poster and everything.
I lost everybody else.
Yeah, but it's just like as soon as you're like, who's in this?
Do we have?
I don't remember.
Okay, so there's the geez, I'm such a bad person. Yeah, I definitely am not asking U.S. agent. I can tell you that right now. That's not happening.
Yeah.
Forget that, dude. No to Taskmaster. No to Ghost. I can see Yelena being asked. I can see Bucky being asked.
Well, none of them are going to get asked then, because Red Guardian's not going to get asked.
I would give Red Guardian before.
And Elaine's not going to get asked.
God, no. will ask for you. No Avengers team. Maybe Red Guardian by way of where we can have a super soldier. If Sam doesn't take the serum, that's a super soldier I think you can get behind versus Wyatt.
That could make it easy for Yelena to go as well, because she'd have to keep an eye on him.
On him?
Yeah.
I can see that.
If he doesn't die in the movie.
Don't say that. I just don't want him to die. I like him so much.
He's got to become Hellboy at some point in time.
It's a time portal. They jump back through time. He gets mutated. Do you think that now that we know that Red Hulk is going to be in the upcoming Captain America, that they're going to start to change the artwork to include Red Hulk for Thunderbolts?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's, like, if stuff that, I don't know if there's anything's out on that, right?
No.
So they're probably going to show that at Hall H, I would imagine.
That's a smart one.
And they probably will show some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that you're like, oh, cool. And then later on, you're going to go, wait, I don't remember Red Hulk being in that.
Got you.
It's like a Hulk,
right, versus
Hulk Buster,
right,
and everyone losing their mind. Well, they never said Hulk Buster's gonna be in it. Like, who cares,
guys? Doesn't matter.
It's the same character, just portrayed differently.
That's right.
That's all
it's still Ruffalo.
Yeah.
Now, to that end, okay, so we've got this group of Thunderbolts. Who else do we have as established characters that could potentially be Avengers? If we start from the originals,
it'd be Thor.
Okay,
but then again, it's whether or not Chris Hemsworth wants to come back and act type
True.
thing, because he's going through some stuff.
Is he?
They found that gene.
Oh, got you.
And it's just depends on his mood, I guess.
I don't know that I want him back for an Avengers movie. Not yet.
Yeah, I think he wants to come back to do Thor again, but I think he wants to do Thor. I don't think he wants to share the spotlight.
And I can get with that. And this is so bad, and I'm sorry for acknowledging it this way. I don't remember if Jane survived Love and Thunder. I don't remember.
Depends on what you think surviving is.
Is she still a Thor?
She's in the afterlife.
Okay. Oh, that's right. She does go to Valhalla, doesn't she?
Yeah.
That's right.
So there's a chance she can come back.
Sure. But I literally have watched that movie from my mind.
I've seen it the one time, and I didn't even think about it until you brought it up.
Gotcha.
So,
okay. So instead of her, maybe Valkyrie.
Well, yeah, I could see Valkyrie being in it as well.
I could definitely see that. Do you put Bruce in there? I almost don't want Bruce in it.
Well, either. I don't know where he would fit in.
I agree with that.
Now, do you put She-Hulk instead?
I want to, but I can already hear the anti-woke crowd. If you go Valkyrie and She-Hulk, oh, you've changed all the men to women. Ah, I'm mad. I can see that crowd jumping in off rip. But I think it's a good space for her to be utilized outside of just being a Hulk. Like, she's smart in a different way. She's a legal person. So the idea of the Sokovian Accord still being at play at all, she would be the one that's arguing, like, can we do this, this, and this? No, we need to do this. Like, there's a strategic measure of her coming in that I think would be very, very interesting versus anybody else. I don't think Bruce would argue those things.
No.
So
could you see her working for Pepper? Because I think that's where the money's coming from.
Oh, I would like that. I would like that.
And that also only makes sense that Pepper would be behind the Avengers since Tony was.
I like that very, very much. And it almost sets the stage for kind of thumbing the nose that Pepper would be the one to go, we need more girls in the Avengers. Like, I'm tired of this boys club. This is stupid. And she goes for it. So to that end, I'm okay with that. I am definitely okay with that. Because a Pepper-funded Avengers team.
Yeah.
Definitely could have She-Hulk. Definitely could have Valkyrie. And they would be hitters, too, which I like. I don't know that they would invite Shuri. I don't know that I would expect that or would want to see that. I would want Shuri to be like, I got to focus on Wakanda.
I don't even know if they know her, to be outside of
Also
like,
true.
just like, you know,
They fought beside her
yeah.
twice.
ish. Yeah.
You're right. Like you were there.
Yeah.
So I saw you
Yeah.
doing stuff,
Yeah.
but I don't know you.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not.
And also don't
excuse
really
me.
know what their plans are for Black Panther going forward.
True. I have no idea. Who else do we have?
Well, so there's Captain Marvel, but this would depend on who the baddie is.
Okay.
Because if it's not someone that's Thanos level,
Right.
she probably wouldn't want to come back. She's
No.
like, there's other things for me to do. You guys can handle that.
I agree.
Hawkeye,
Which one?
Clint.
Okay, just checking. Just want to test it.
Because
test the temperature.
because the other one's already putting a team together.
That's true. She is, and that's where Ms. Marvel is, and that works on that side.
What, Young Avengers?
Yeah, which I think should not be
Avengers Junior.
Avengers West Coast.
Should be a Disney Plus show. Was that what you were gonna say?
Absolutely. If they don't do that, that's silly on their part. We still technically have Scott as Ant-Man. I don't know that I want him, if I'm being honest. In fact, no, I don't want him.
I guess it just depends on what they need him for.
Actually, in all honesty, I want him to have something go wrong, and he is Goliath. He can only get bigger. That's it. And so they have to limit how often they can use him because it's dangerous for him. Like, I want there to be a straight alteration to what he's allowed to do physically, because, like, okay, I can get big, but I pass out, and all these different things are like starting to catch up to him. One, because Paul Rudd is getting older.
Yeah,
facts is facts. And it gives like when he shows up, he doesn't. He's a vampire. The dude is a vampire. But when he shows up, it's significant because there's this inherent risk involved with it all. If that's the saving grace from Kang and Quantumania and all that goodness, like somehow he is affected in a negative way. He had a heart attack. I don't care. Something where him being involved has to be limited because of that. I'm okay with it.
Okay, so then we go to Doctor Strange.
No. Don't want him.
Spider-Man.
No. Don't want him either. Don't want him. I would rather have Shang-Chi.
Well, I'm sure Shang-Chi will be a
Okay.
member of the Avengers.
Yeah. But I would so rather have someone grounded in that way than Peter or Steven. I feel like they each have very personal journeys to go on, much in the same way as Thor and I would argue Bruce. They have personal things that they've got to get together before they can be a part of this team. Obviously, nobody knows who Peter is right now, and that's hopefully going to be explained in a really good movie from Sony soon and what that looks like.
Sony distributed.
Okay.
Not from Sony. It's from the mind of
Either
Paul
way.
Feige.
Either way. Like I need something good to come out there.
No, and that's fine. I think the biggest problem though is that we don't know the premise of it.
True.
Because is this supposed to be the end of the multiverse? Because if it is, then I can tell you who else is going to be in it.
Who?
Steve Rogers and
Yes.
Tony Stark.
Yes, they are.
And there may even be
More folks than that. Who would? Okay,
there could be a Black Widow.
there
as
could
well.
be. Bring back Natasha. Who in the Avengers roster do you qualify as an Avengers worthy villain that does not require Thanos level output?
Let's see. They botched Ultron.
I mean, you could always bring Ultron back. You could.
No,
No? Not at all?
We've done it. Been there, done that.
I mean, also true. And you know how I hate that movie. I hate it.
Well, I mean, she's already on Thunderbolts, which would have been Taskmaster.
Okay. Do you make this Avengers versus Thunderbolts? It's the Masters of Evil setup. So the idea is that rather than a single individual bad guy, you've now got a bad team that goes up against the good team. Or is that too close to Civil War?
I guess it just depends on what the story's going to be, because I don't know if shoving thunderbolts down our throats like that
Will be any
would be
good?
the best idea.
I kind of wonder because they didn't really do it with Suicide Squad, right? Like we know that the video game came out, Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, and so you had the premier team and you had this ragtag team, whatever. But they didn't really do that like cinematically. Is that a lane that Marvel Studios would consider like we might need to show the Thunderbolts holding their own at the very least against the Avengers to give the Thunderbolts a little bit of credit, so that people don't just go, they're Diet Avengers or whatever. Like it's enough that the playing field is leveled where you go, if either team shows up, that could be a good thing.
It also makes me wonder if they're going to do anything like bring Shield back as
as the head of
it's still
either
Hydra.
one. Right. That's a really good point. That is a really good point. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunity there. I do believe that in the new Captain America trailer, we saw the new Falcon. We qualify him on the team?
We saw the new Falcon?
I think so. I think there's a scene where the way that it's shot, you're supposed to, once you see, because it's a hot frame, you're supposed to think that it's Red Wing, but I don't think that it's Red Wing. I think it's Torres as Falcon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe add him to the mix of things as Sam's sidekick.
Sure he's not going to be in Young Avengers?
I don't know that, actually.
Avengers Junior.
Avengers 2, Electric Boogaloo.
All right. I have a question for you.
What you got?
Are there any characters that you want to see that they haven't introduced as far as being Avengers?
Oh.
Because they could just as put Riri Williams in there.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. I am on record. I am not a fan of the creation of Riri Williams from the comics, and she is not one that I would prefer to put on an Avengers team of this scale. She's going to be an Avenger. She's got to be the Young Avengers. Like that.
Avengers Junior.
Yes. Like that's
Avengers
it.
West Coast Junior.
Yes.
Junior West Coast.
Nick Avengers. Yeah, like that's where she is to me. In terms of characters being introduced to it, that's tough. All my answers are like super wild cards that I think would throw people off. They wouldn't know what to do with it. I would like Hercules to show up looking for Thor and instead gets recruited to the Avengers. Like he's looking like, where's this dude? And they're like, we don't know where he is, but he comes through and he's like, oh, well then I'll wait. And like that's kind of the framework is he's literally just kind of hanging out waiting to beat up Thor. But that's like one that I would want. Even if it was a matter of like he decides that he was gonna show up and then he sees She-Hulk and he's like, ooh la la, who is that? And sticks around. Like that's cool with me. The one that I'm trying to figure out how to include that is the hardest one for me is Namor. We know he's there. We know he exists. He has an affiliation with the Avengers, but how do you get him into the Avengers in this landscape?
I don't think you do.
See, and that's I want him because I like him as a character.
Yeah.
But I don't know that he fits. I really don't. So I'm torn. There's characters I don't care about that I'm sure other people would, like Ghost Rider. I don't care. I'm not a Ghost Rider guy. It's never been my
Ghost
thing.
Rider doesn't seem to be an Avenger to me.
He has been recently.
Yeah, but it's.
I know.
I just don't think it works.
I know. It's a very loose sort of move. It's not my jam. No, I don't think I have Anybody else that I would like to introduce?
Simon Williams.
Ooh. Let me back the truck up. Let me let that idle for a minute. Ooh. Wonder Man, he's supposed to have a showcase spotlight thing. It's supposed to.
I don't think that's happening.
You don't think so? Okay.
No. And even if it is, no one's talking about it.
No one is. Not at all. I'm going to say the stupidest, nerdiest thing ever. For me, if you bring on Wonder Man, I want Beast.
It's not going to happen.
I get how crazy of a stretch that would absolutely be, but that's who I would want to be the comedic thing with him. Unless they absolutely want to go that very convoluted route of his association with Vision and Scarlet Witch and all of that.
Well, I think that we're past that.
I agree.
Because they established Vision as being the AI.
Right. Not built off assignment.
Right.
So that's kind of that's a good call though. As a fresh slate, I think that would be very interesting. That's a very powerful Avengers lineup though. You have Wonder Man, She-Hulk, and Hercules. That's a lot of power for sure.
Well, and it keeps Captain Marvel from having to show up.
Definitely, because you can still say collectively they're as powerful as she is, but she doesn't need to be there.
I think there's also one person we're missing, and I just thought about it.
Oh, I'm about to be embarrassed.
The person that is currently on Earth.
That is currently on Earth that we've seen in a phase 1 through 3 movie, or they appeared in phase 4?
It would be at earliest 3 or 2, I mean.
Okay.
But we've seen him in multiple movies. Seen him in Avengers. Seen him in Thor. Seen him in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wait. You said Avengers 1.
No.
Oh.
We've seen him in Avengers.
Yeah.
I didn't say which one.
You didn't. Okay.
We've seen him in Thor.
Okay.
I didn't say which
You
one.
didn't. That's what I'm like, wait, who are you talking about?
We have seen him in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians.
All 3 Guardians of the Galaxy.
It's Cosmo. Absolutely. No? Who are you talking about?
Peter Quill.
Oh my God. He is on Earth, isn't he?
And he's supposed to return.
Oh, I had written him all the way off.
No, there's no way. There's money to be made there.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, and I totally see actors being in both universes at the same time.
I can see that. I had totally.
Yeah, it just popped into my head.
Wow. Okay, so where do you put him? Is he an Avenger? Is he a Thunderbolt? Where would you go with Peter?
I put him in the Avengers, and there's this person that could play off of Simon Williams. Simon Williams had to be a little more. He'd be more straight.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
As Peter is learning Earth culture more,
or whatever.
Yeah, that could be fun actually. All right.
And Puck. I want to see Puck.
You've been pining for Puck for years.
No,
now.
they need to do a Alpha Flight at some point in time, I would think.
Now, see, that's kind of what I mean in terms of the setup for Secret Wars. Like, if you had, the Thunderbolts and you've got the Avengers and maybe you do Defenders and maybe you do Alpha Flight. So, there's these different pockets of people that...
I think that's too much to set up in, too short of a time. I think that you need... especially with the way Marvel is right now, and that we're trying to scale back to do 2-3 movies a year as opposed to...
Well, that's partly what I think. Secret Wars should be like a 5, 6, 7 year away plan.
Yeah, that's possible, but then I think you lose a lot of what we're talking about.
That's possible. Well, I'll say that far away in release.
Yeah, Well, okay, but we're talking about the next movie.
Yeah,
we're not talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
3 movies down the road.
True. Dang, I forgot all about Peter. Because Peter's inclusion could be very interesting because that's a grounded cosmic character.
Yeah.
Right. Do you? Does Peter work with Sword and kind of be a part of that part of the MCU landscape?
I think he probably wants to.
Yeah.
And he makes himself available, but they're not
They never
interested.
use it. He's like,
He just
like,
shows up, and they're like, and it's one of those things like, when did you get Peter Quill to work for you? Because we never asked him to come. He just showed up, and he
just
won't leave.
He won't leave.
And he's not funny.
That I would like. I would definitely like that. Especially if some of the different alien races that we see on the Sword ship, Quill is dated, and so now you've got like an ex or something that he's like, oh.
I could also see Peter Quill being with Sword being the new Men in Black.
Write that down. Like that's a good one. I would rock with that. Peter Quill, Agent of Sword. I would watch that. Even if it's just again a Marvel Spotlight, I would watch that because I think that would be very funny.
Yeah.
And would be a great place for Peter. Okay, Marvel, are y'all listening? Like he just dropped a jewel for y'all. Make that happen. I am now curious. Who would be on your Avengers lineup moving forward? And again, keeping that very concrete Avengers, not Kid Avengers, not West Coast, just the Avengers core team. Who would that be for you guys? Comment below. Definitely want to hear your thoughts. Thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, I'm Victor Dandridge, the hardest working man in comics.
And I'm Bill. I kept the coughing to a minimum.
You did very well. I was very proud of you.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next time. Peace.